What would happen if we took internet culture in its purest form and directly translated it into music? Well, we would get 100 gecs, and what I think is the future of music.
Hey, you little piss baby, you think you're so fucking cool, huh? You think you're so fucking tough? You talk a lot of big game for someone with such a small truck. Oh, look at those arms. Your arms look so fucking cute, they look like little cigarettes. I bet I could smoke you, I could roast you, and then you'd love it. You text me I love you, and then I'd fucking ghost you. The big boys coming with the big stuff. I feel so cool, like I'm not even sure.
If you've never heard of 100 gecs, then you're probably wondering right now how what you just heard could ever be the future of music. But before you click off this video, please let me explain myself. The internet has drastically transformed the way in which we consume music. With just a simple internet connection, everything is right at our fingertips and is always just one click away. Right now, I can pull out my phone and instantly look up a death metal song. And then, 5 seconds later, I can look up a dreamy pop song just as easily. There are no longer any rules or limitations on what I can consume. Because through the internet, we all have instant access to listen to literally anything that's ever been made. And what's especially impactful about this is the fact that it's given us complete freedom to explore whatever we want. You see, before the internet, when people had to go out in person and buy physical albums, it was far less likely for someone to purchase something that wasn't of their predetermined taste. Were people really going to spend money on something that they didn't even know if they would like? Were they really going to proudly buy that album that seemed kind of strange to them? Probably not. As a result, people settled into certain preferred genres. Maybe you were a hip-hop head, maybe you were a metal head, or maybe you loved pop music. Who knows? But it was much less likely for you to cross genres and develop a more diverse taste. However, nowadays, thanks to the rise of streaming services, things have changed. We don't have to go out and buy an album to see if we will like it. We can just search it up and stream it instantly. And we don't have to be judged for what we listen to, because no one has to see. As music fans, this is the best time to be alive. No other time in history did we have such instant access to listen to anything we want. And given that we have this power, then why limit ourselves in listening to only one or a few genres? In my eyes, choosing to do so is just a disservice to yourself. Does this mean that you can't prefer certain genres over others? No, by no means. I'm just saying that as a music fan, we should be taking advantage of our digital time and be exploring all the types of music that this world has to offer. Thankfully, among younger generations of music listeners who have never known a time without the internet, we are really starting to see a drastic shift towards these types of diverse listening habits. With music now being more accessible than ever before, it's just not as common anymore to be so indulged in one sound. We see this everywhere now. Just ask your average young person what music they listen to. I bet you'll probably say something like, "I listen to everything," or "I like all types of music." Before the internet age, when people took pride in whatever genres they identified with, this type of response was just not as common. You were much more likely to hear someone respond to the question with either one or a few genres of choice. But in today's digital age, where everything is instantly available to us and everything bleeds into one another, this is just no longer the case. And what's crazy about this modern state of music consumption is the fact that it's starting to directly translate into how artists make music. For the first time ever, we are seeing artists who grew up listening to all types of music start to make music. And what is the result? Well, naturally, it sounds like a blend of all types of music. This is the case for Dylan Brady and Laura Less, who combined together to make up the duo 100 gecs. On their debut album 1000 gecs, over the course of 23 minutes, Dylan and Laura mashed together sounds of electropop, EDM, metal, punk, emo rap, trap, industrial, dubstep, bubblegum bass, and even ska. And somehow, it all comes together beautifully. This album basically sounds like the internet. Everything bleeds right into one another, and there isn't even an inherent structure. Yet still, somehow, it all coexists without falling apart. From the distorted trap and bubblegum bass fusion on Money Machine, to the infectious ska punk riffs on Stupid Horse, and to the frenetic EDM risers on Hand Crush by a Mallet, you truly never know what you are going to get with this album. But those are only sonic changes from song to song. What's crazy about 100 gecs is they'll often shift genres within their songs. To show you what I mean, we are going to listen to two separate sections which make up different songs on the album. These two sections will serve as an example of two completely different genres existing within the same track. The first section of the song will be indicated with a white waveform, and the second with a black waveform. Although it's not going to seem like it, I assure you, these two sections will actually be from the same song.
Spend my money like it's stolen, yeah. Shit, I'm already broken, it's only 7:45 in the morning. He said, I love you on the plane, I said, I love you too. He said, everything's different now, everything has changed. Baby, you know that I got you, I can never stop you, I will never stop you, 'cause you know I'm crazy, 'cause you know you You're sitting all alone and you call me on the phone and you say I need love, can you get to me now? Sitting all alone and you call me on the phone.
As you can clearly see, it's not an uncommon thing for 100 gecs to completely shift genres within their songs. If I didn't provide you with any context, you probably wouldn't even be able to tell that the two different sections came from the same track. However, Dylan and Laura aren't just mashing genres together for the sake of doing it. They're just making the music that they want to make. This goes back to my point about people nowadays listening to all types of music. Naturally, if you ask them to make music in an unfiltered setting, then it's going to sound like a blend of all types of music. It's not like they're going out of their way to force this genre blend. It's just a reflection of their music taste, and further, a reflection of the modern day state of music and the internet. In an interview with thefader.com, Laura supported this idea. As she said, "To be honest, the whole idea of labeling genres is not super important to us. We're both just fans of music, so that's what we put on it." This is why I say that 100 gecs are the future of music. For me, I can envision a future in music where there are no longer any more genre bounds. A future where people will stop being so caught up on labeling things and just enjoy the music for what it is. A future where artists won't even think about genre and just make the music they want to make. A future where this type of genre blending will no longer be seen as strange or jarring, but just how things are. A future where the digital accessibility and chaos of the internet has fully immersed itself into music culture. So where do 100 gecs go from here? I don't know. Their music direction is probably just as unpredictable as the internet. However, if there is one thing that we can learn from the internet, it's that they aren't going anywhere anytime soon. Thank you for watching this episode of Rhythmic Reason, where I give you the meaning behind the music. If you would like to support the channel, be sure to like and share the video, and consider subscribing to the channel through the link on the screen. Also, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram, as well as check out my previous video. Lastly, be sure to hit the bell to turn on notifications, so you are notified when I post my next video. I'll see you next time.